Hey guys, welcome to Nomi. I'm Alex Raymond and today I'm bringing you a review. We're going to talk about Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, the title developed by Activision and Toys for Bob. The game was released last October 2nd and is available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. We had the opportunity to play it on the Sony platform and now we tell you all about it. Let's get started! Although the name of the title has a 4 in it, the saga of Crash has been much more extensive. The developers of the new title continue with the end of the story of Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, the last game of the saga developed by Naughty Dog. The saga of the funny marsupial started in 1996 by Naughty Dog, being the last game released in 1998. After that time, other studios continue creating new proposals and even other genres, having Crash and his friend as main characters. But Activision and Toys for Bob made the decision to develop this new proposal continue with the end of the story 22 years later. The title is only available in 2 platforms, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. The title has audio in English, Portuguese, French and Spanish, and also has subtitles in Spanish, English and Portuguese. Regarding the general configuration, we can find the following options. Inside gameplay, we can choose game style, where we have 2 options, retro, which gives us a limited number of lives, and if you lose them all, you have to restart the level, and the modern mode, when you die, you always continue from the last checkpoint. Here in these options, we can also activate or deactivate the enhanced shadows. Within the control options, we can see an image of a joystick indicating each of the buttons that has a certain action. Also, we can activate or not the vibration. In the video options, we can configure the camera movement, the movement blur, the horizontal view, the vertical view, and we have color blindness options. As for the audio, we will be able to adjust the volume of the music, the effects, and the voice. We have more options to modify the subtitles, activating or deactivating them, changing the size and style of the text, the opacity of the background, and a text size suggestion option. To finish, we have the configuration for Bandicoot battles. Something to note here is that if you have an Activision account, you will receive 2 special suits as a gift. If you don't have it, you can create an account before starting the game. Once all the configuration and other details are finished, the game starts and informs us that it has automatic saving. In this new Crash title, the world is at peace after all the events lived in Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. However, the evil never rests and once again Dr. Neo Cortex, Entropy and the evil magic mask Uka Uka return, and now with an artifact capable of traveling through time and space. Therefore, Crash and Coco's well-deserved vacation is interrupted and now their main mission will be to travel through time and space, visiting several universes in order to restore balance and stop the forces of evil once and for all. Our protagonists will have help from other characters of the franchise and also now from new Quantum Masks, which are 4 and each one of them will provide us with unique powers extremely useful to overcome the multiple challenges that await us during the course of the game. Gameplay in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time continues with the platform genre of the previous titles, so we can run to the bottom of the stage or to the camera. It has sequences with lateral development on vehicles and also have the classic movements of Crash as the tornado spin and the double jump. The clear difference and what makes the game stand out from its predecessors are the new skills acquired by the 4 Quantum Masks. It is thanks to them that we will have the possibility to slow down time, alternate between 2 realities and even perform a special tornado spin. However, each mask can only be used in certain moments, but we can always use them in some section of the level. To activate these new abilities, we'll simply have to press the R2 button and that's it, we can already use the special powers. The game keeps the classic bouncing camera, offering us different perspectives from the back, from the front to escape, from distance and even from the side. In previous games, these changes turned out to be something a bit tricky and we ended up falling off the cliff. The studio noticed this detail and created for the protagonist a circle-shaped indicator that shows us our landing point. In addition, flying enemies also have this system, which allows us to find the right moment to attack or dodge. Of course, the system is not perfect and many times we will unfairly fall, but not as often as in previous games. If you do not like this visual help, you can disable it from the configuration. Another very interesting novelty is the possibility of using other characters besides Crash and Coco. As we advance in the game, we will meet them and the option to play with them will be enabled, because other exclusive alternative timelines are activated to play with those certain characters. Now we will not reveal who they are, since that's part of the story, but as a little spoiler, we can say that one of them is Neo Cortex himself. These new characters can't use the Quantum Mask, but each one of them has unique and different abilities. For example, the evil Cortex uses his ray gun to turn the enemies into rock or gelatin platforms. Doing this, we will have access to high places. Continuing with the tradition of the classic Crash Bandicoot, this title is divided in levels, around 50, but at the same time it is grouped in different dimensions, and each one of them has a unique theme. Completing a level for the first time in its entirety with all the boxes, score, and more, it's an impossible task. But sometimes replaying a challenge did not have a very interesting reward and ended up being just an activity chosen by fans who like to complete them. However, in this title the studio have thought about this function in more detail, so if we decide to replay a particular level, they give us gems to acquire special aspects, new section of the level, and even some VHS tapes that unlock new levels that tell us the origins of Crash and Coco. Regarding difficulty in the game, it starts relatively simple with indicators to use the skills, then it becomes more and more complex until it ends with a very challenging but extremely satisfactory level to overcome. It has two types of difficulty levels, retro or modern. The company recommends the modern one because technically it is simpler, since we have infinite lives and we can continue from the last checkpoint when we lose our lives, while the retro one is, as its name says, the classic one, with limited lives and game over when they run out. So don't take it so lightly when deciding which mode to play. Believe me, it's very challenging in the final levels. The title has also multiplayer modes, one competitive and another local cooperative. These are quite simple, not very novel, but they meet expectations. We will be able to play between 2, 3 and 4 players, competing for boxes, for the perfect score and for time, where we will have to pass the joystick to another player to try and fulfill the challenge. If we talk about the visuals, if we compare Crash and Coco from the remastered trilogy, we can notice that in that installment, the fur was visible at naked eye, well detailed and defined, whereas in Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, the protagonists do not have that definition and have a more cartoon style. But the scenarios in the game have been modified with much more detail in addition to the themes for each dimension, such as the jungle, desert, volcanoes, ice, cities of the future and much more. All have been developed with an exquisite aesthetic, with different elements in each sector and use of sublime color. Each place has its own personality, and they have achieved this not only by the incorporation of objects, but also by the quality of the color palette, vibrant, striking, and full of life. With the characters, besides having this more cartoon design, we have the possibility of changing between 28 different outfits, not all of which will be available at first, since we have to complete the challenges in order to obtain them. But the outfits are related with all the dimensions we'll visit, so we'll be able to visit those worlds dressed for the occasion. The soundtrack is simple, correct, and expected for this type of proposal. It doesn't have any catchy theme or musical rhythm, but neither is invasive or tries to impose itself. It really goes unnoticed. From the moment we start the game, we instantly remember the moments of our childhood playing Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation 1. Activision and Toys for Bob have managed to recreate the essence of the previous 3 titles and make this game a worthy successor of the franchise that Naughty Dog developed in the 90s. It has funny scenes with the relaxed and fresh humor that always characterize it. In addition, the gameplay is extraordinary, with the classic moves of the protagonist, but with the great novelty of the incorporation of the skills brought by the Quantum Masks. The movement of the camera is extremely well polished, with some difficulties but nothing that affects the experience, as well as the addition of the indicator that allow us to control where the characters will fall. This is perhaps a simple help, but believe me, it helps a lot. The difficulty curve is well marked, very upward, complex and very challenging. regarding the visual section is remarkable. The scenarios have many details and links to other games. For example, we can see a spiral flotation device drifting along the shore in one of them. Additionally, the creators managed to give each dimension a lot of personality, and you can clearly differentiate one from another, so we'll be playing in new and unique scenarios all the time, since we'll not always use the same skills. The Quantum Mask will give us a unique experience. Also, being able to use other characters besides Crash and Coco is something extremely interesting and fun, because each one of them has a leading role in the various dimensions that we'll visit. The game did not stand out too much with the soundtrack, which is a pity because it could have been a good time to create some catchy music. And the local multiplayer mode, although it is something quite entertaining, does not stand out too much. If the idea was to play locally with other friends, perhaps they could have developed some other different minigames, instead of repeating the same scenarios just to compete collecting crates. Nomicom recommends Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time to all the players that love the platform titles. You don't necessarily have to be a Crash fan, but with no doubt, those who have a special affection for the marsupial will love this new installment. If you made it this far and you liked the video, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell to be aware of all our reviews. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with all your friends so we can keep working to bring you the best content. Thank you guys, see you next time!